This video continues the discussion of effectively structuring prompts. When structuring large language model or LLM prompts, think of the prompt as a recipe. If the ingredients and steps aren't organized effectively, it takes more effort to follow the recipe successfully. Well-organized recipes start with a list of ingredients, so you know what you need. And the steps follow a logical flow, with overarching things first, like oven temperature or equipment, followed by detailed tasks like mix the butter and sugar together. Same thing with prompts. If you put the prompt elements in a logical, consistent order, the model will be more successful in generating the desired result, and it will expend less energy trying to process your prompt. Even with a well-organized recipe, most bakers can't read the recipe once and remember all of the steps and amounts, particularly if there are lots of ingredients. When they reach the step telling them to add the cinnamon and ginger, they probably need to go back and check how much cinnamon and how much ginger were called for. Something similar happens with LLMs. If a prompt is very long, the model might not do as well processing the information from earlier in the prompt. To combat this issue, you can apply techniques to point the model to the information it needs right when the information is needed, kind of like having a pointer directly to the amount of ginger you need at the step where the ginger is added. It's important to experiment with the best ways to organize prompt elements for your use case and the model. Read documentation about the model to help you communicate effectively with that particular model. You can even ask the model to optimize a prompt you've written. This slide presents a few common practices for helping the model to process your prompt effectively. First, put the elements in a logical order. Put contextual elements like input data, role, and audience first. Put the actual task description closer to the end of your prompt. Next, format the prompt clearly and consistently, and use proper punctuation and grammar. Formatting your prompt with tags to clearly identify each element is also a good idea. The example shown here and in your student guide uses XML tags to signify the start and end of each element, but you can choose a different tagging method. Check the model's documentation to see if it suggests an optimal tagging approach for that model. With tags, you can point the model right where they need to look for the relative information when they need it. For example, you might include in your task description a phrase such as, follow the directions included as constraints. This phrase tells the model to look for the constraints tag at the point in the task description where it needs to use the constraints to prepare the output. In this example prompt, the contextual elements are provided first in a well-organized and well-labeled format. The task description is at the end of the prompt and references the relevant information as part of the task description. This helps the model process the prompt and makes it easier to convert this prompt into a template. A prompt template is a structured format for creating prompts for LLMs. It provides a consistent framework for generating prompts by including placeholders for variables. This facilitates customization and reuse of prompts across different contexts or with different inputs. In the example shown here and in your student guide, variables are embedded in the prompt and the user fills in the variables before sending the prompt to the model. There's no single structure that's correct, and you might use different approaches for different tasks. You might also find that different models or AI tools might recommend a particular style. Here are a few key takeaways for the 2 videos on structuring LLM prompts. Prompt structures support clarity, customization, consistency, and efficiency of prompt engineering activities. Key elements for defining the desired task include a task description, instructions, and response format. Key elements for customizing how the model responds include input data, persona or role, audience, tone and style, and constraints. A prompt template provides a reusable structure.